Ask Liverpool fans about Jurgen Klopp and they will rave about the good stuff for hours. Ask rival fans and see how many will call the Liverpool boss a crybaby. Referees, opponents, footballing officials, even wind and grass are sometimes mentioned as reasons for bad results by Jurgen Klopp. But does he really moan that much, or is he often misunderstood? In this video, we'll explain why Jurgen Klopp is the way he is after revisiting some of his big headlines that made rivals point fingers. Keep watching even if you're a Liverpool fan, and don't forget to like the video at the end. Referees are perhaps Jurgen Klopp's biggest pet peeve. In particular, Klopp has a problem with one official, Paul Tierney. "I have no problem with any referees, only you," Klopp once said right into Tierney's face. Repeated remarks about Tierney's refereeing ultimately earned Klopp a 2-game ban on top of a £75,000 fine. At one point it got so ugly, even Liverpool legend Graham Souness called Klopp out as a sore loser who takes his aggression towards officials too far. However, it's really hard to find a Premier League head coach who hasn't complained about a referee at least once. The Man United head coach complains, the ever-so-calm Man City head coach complains, and the Arsenal head coach has a problem with the same referee as Klopp. But a wounded Liverpool boss can say nasty things not just to referees. James Pearce, a prominent football reporter about Liverpool, once felt the wrath of the German. As Pearce posed a perfectly reasonable question following a 3-0 defeat, Klopp, visibly in pain, replied,
"It's very difficult to talk to you, if I'm 100% honest. I would prefer not to do that. You know why. For all the things you wrote, so if somebody else wants to ask that question, then I answer it, and if not..."
As it turned out, Klopp had to know better because he had been given the wrong information and confused Pearce for somebody else. And by the way, that's just his most recent beef with a reporter among many others. English refs and journalists aren't the only thing that makes Jurgen roll his eyes. When Liverpool only got a point from Fulham in 2022, the German partly blamed the grass, saying, "We wanted to fight back, but it wasn't easy anymore. The pitch was dry," stuff like this. Ridiculous enough? Well, Pep Guardiola loves his grass perfect too, and maybe the two most successful Premier League coaches as of late know what they talk about. Sometimes Klopp doesn't appreciate weather conditions. "He just cannot play football in this heavy wind," was his verdict on Liverpool's 2-0 home defeat to arch rivals Everton in 2021. It wasn't the first time he'd blamed a defeat on the wind. Just like the wind, snow rattled Jurgen Klopp as well. "You saw that the ball didn't roll," said Klopp after a 1-1 draw at Leicester in 2019. "If you have the ball for 70 to 80% of the time, it makes life really uncomfortable." Perhaps his most unusual complaint was against injuries to the opponent. Man United were hit by bad luck and saw 3 players come off injured in the first half of the Liverpool clash in 2019. Under Herrera, Juan Mata and Jesse Lingard were all subbed off early, leaving United with no substitutions for the majority of the match. Liverpool needed 3 points from that Old Trafford game but only got 1, ultimately losing the league title to Man City by a 1-point margin. "It was a strange game," Klopp told Sky Sports after the final whistle. "We started really well and then the injury crisis started, and that cost us the rhythm." Klopp's comments seemed bizarre at the time, but there's a grain of truth in saying that a weakened opponent may cause you problems. When Liverpool lost to Spurs 2-1, you could see how much trouble Tottenham had playing with 1 and then 2 more players. The same game saw Luis Diaz score a legitimate goal, but a completely erratic communication between on-field referees and VARs denied them what was rightfully theirs. We made our verdict on a potential replay in another video, and Jurgen Klopp gave his quite surprising opinion. I say this not as manager of Liverpool, but as a football person. I think the only outcome should be a replay. It probably won't happen. As far as I can remember, something like this never happened. That's why I think a replay should be played. Newspapers and football fans on social media went knives out for Jurgen Klopp after these words. Some, however, omitted this part of his statement. I say this not as manager of Liverpool, but as a football person. But then again, a legitimate question was asked by Nick Miller from The Athletic. If you know a replay will not happen, why even suggest it? And honestly, Klopp has been long enough in English football to know how the media work and what kind of reaction was coming. Klopp is also wrong when he says this is unprecedented. 3 years ago, Aston Villa stayed up in the Premier League thanks to the butterfly effect from legitimate goals scored by Sheffield United but denied by the refs. The goal line technology failed and the VAR didn't bother to check what was obviously a goal. The game ended 0-0 and the point proved to be decisive in Villa's survival. Just like that, you can also name multiple controversial refereeing decisions that cost other teams' players dangerous set pieces, penalties, goals and ultimately points. When Liverpool beat Tottenham 4-3 in April 2023, the winning goal was scored by Diogo Jota, who had no right to be on the pitch following a reckless high-foot challenge on Oliver Skipp's head. Klopp's reaction? He told the furious Spurs head coach Ryan Mason to worry about other stuff and play better football. He also said Skipp had to be sent off much earlier. Oof, nasty. We could go on digging out more quotes, but our idea is not to show Jurgen Klopp as a bad guy. He clearly has some moments when he says things out of the ordinary. Some find these moments bizarre, others justifiable. But Klopp isn't the only one to complain about referees, weather conditions and journalists, even if he does some of this more often. Ultimately, there's an explanation for this. If you have noticed, most of his presumably ridiculous moans come after defeats or high-voltage games when emotions are strong. By his own admission, Jurgen Klopp is a bad loser, so he might say things he will regret later. If football fans feel passionate about the sport, the same can happen to top coaches whose jobs may literally depend on the blade of grass. At the end of the day, Jurgen Klopp is a character and has his moments. Like him or hate him, but he makes the Premier League a bigger box office. If you enjoyed this episode, please like it so more people can watch it. Check out more of our content, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. See you in other videos.